the IBM trained staff running the thing. You, the mere user, if you want to use this machine, punch up your job on punch cards, submit it through a hatch to the operations staff, who line it up on the table with all the jobs that got there before yours. And as the machine finishes one job, in goes the next. Get your hands on the gear. Their ideal customer, I thought it would be another IT engineer. So they designed this thing to be hands-on as opposed to hands-off. For a certain period of time, it's your machine. And that's the way it worked at MIT when they gave one. A sign-up sheet went up on the wall. Once you get approved by the authorities, you can sign up for an hour a day. If you're, say, a graduate student doing a thesis on the machine, maybe 2 hours a day if you're a professor with a research grant. Maybe, if you're someone very lucky like Steve and myself, you could be allowed on the machine when all the virtuous professors and graduate students are asleep.
Sneak in or actually?
Well, after midnight was a good time. After midnight, we actually got official approval to do this as the lowest priority user. Very bold move on the part of the management of the lab, managed Jack Dennis. We just wanted to see what might come out of unsponsored research. So that's what happened.
And the number you set in the switches when you started to control the influence of the three spots on each other. And the influence would gradually change. It was fun to play with for maybe an hour or two. But after a couple of hours, you began to realize that all of the patterns seemed to decay into something more and more random and ended up looking very much the same. And so it wasn't too good. It got boring after a while. So I started talking up the idea that we needed a better demonstration program. And space was very much in the news at the time. The Russians had put a man in orbit at the beginning of the year, and the U.S. caught up 4 months later or so. And so there was a lot of stuff about space. And I said, gee, very few people know how to fly a spaceship. What we really need is something that teaches people how to fly a spaceship. And I talked up the idea for a while, and got the usual sort of reaction, which is, that's a great idea. Now, someone who really understands it ought to do it. Why don't you do it? So I was ashamed to write code. And I had a version that displayed two spaceships on the screen, and I had put random stars behind it. Peter thought stars were terribly unrealistic, and so he converted up a real star map, put stars behind it. Dan Edwards looked at my display code and thought he could speed it up, and he wrote a special purpose compiler that compiled exactly the right code to display a spaceship outline and keep the display running at full speed. And that gave us enough time to calculate the effect of gravity on the spaceships. But there wasn't enough time to calculate the effect of gravity on the torpedoes. So we decided they were photon torpedoes, not affected by gravity. And that is the game of Spacewar. Now, for a couple of years, this was the world's most popular computer. Mostly because it was the only one that was widely available. And a lot of people saw it, and when they discovered they had some spare time and a computer with a display, but not a PDP-1, they would code up their own version. So it was widely imitated, and lots of people knew about it, and it was people used it a lot for demonstrating computers, so a lot of people saw it. And about 10 years later, computers and displays got cheap enough so you could deliver using them for an arcade game. And so three different groups made Spacewar arcade games. And Atari made Asteroids, which had the advantage over Spacewar that you only had one player who would still take quarters. And that's how, another 10 years or so, computers got cheap enough so that you could think about selling them to people just in their homes. And again, asteroids and space warship out for home computers. Rotate the spaceship. I'm controlling this one. See, rotate, thrust, fires the rocket, and accelerates the spaceship, like a real spaceship. And fires the torpedo. And a good strategy is what I just did, which is to turn it right angles to the sun and thrust for about 3.5 seconds. And then you're in a stable orbit, and you can worry about putting torpedoes where your opponent's going to be. So, play.
While they're playing, we can take questions.
So how much, when you guys have this program stored on that, does it have memory where you had a basic program and that all stored on?
Yeah, this is a big machine, right?